about it. All right, so I think we're ready. We got the nervousness out of the way.
No, I feel like that made it worse. I'm just kidding.
I will count y'all in 3, 2.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Graffiti Black podcast. I am your host, Mr. Graffiti Black, and today I have a very cool guest with me. Her name is Kenna. Welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Is it McKenna or Kenna?
Either or.
Okay. Because I really wanted to say McKenna, but I'm like...
No, see if that rolls off the tongue. That's what you should do. Because my whole life I've been called McKenna, and then when I started singing, it was Kenna.
Kenna.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go with Kenna.
Okay.
So we have McKenna here today, and really...
You said McKenna.
So we worked on your project recently, which was really cool. It was that music video for your song, and I thought when we first connected to go over the song, I thought it was really awesome just getting to know more backstory on the project of the song and kind of the why and your story for it. So I just kind of wanted to start off going into that and just kind of get a little more depth on it, for people that are if they see this and they want to see your song, your music video that we worked on, I just wanted to kind of give people a little more of an inside glimpse on Kenna and the song.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of start there with that.
I think the main line in the song I made when I was 12.
For real?
Yes, and I had it in my back pocket. And then as I got older, and I realized just recently this year that a lot of those lines that I liked when I was 12 were made because I was feeling almost more, I didn't know so much about the world. I just knew what I liked. I knew this sounded good, almost more romanticized than I could as an adult. And so when I went back into it, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. And then I could build from there. But, yeah, that's how it started. And I walked in and I showed that one line to the producer, and he was like, oh, yeah, we could build off of this.
It was a bar in the chorus?
Yeah, just the do you get in the way? That one part.
Yeah.
And, it was almost built backwards because we made the lyrics first and then got into the actual chords. Okay, what key is this song in? How is it set up? Oh, there's a guitar solo? Those things, it happened. It was almost built backwards, which is super weird.
Okay, so you started out with the chorus, and then after you showed it to the producer, then that's when you guys started to see the potential and build more lyrics into it.
Yep.
Okay, so all of that came way later on.
Yeah. I combined two songs together that I made when I was a child. And I was like, oh, these actually work together. But, when you're a kid, you like the same, 3 songs for a little bit. And they probably were, in the same key and had the same idea. Because one of the only things I knew how to do was sing in that type of genre or whatever I was obsessed with. So I combined those 2 songs, and that's how the front half of the song got made.
Yeah, and what do you call the genre of this?
It's I heard it's under the pop umbrella, but I have the same question myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I figured. It was it was within that, but the style of how you sing has an R&B feel to it, would you say? Or
I would say that's on the back,
It's not in the forefront.
Right.
But to me, it's I get a really huge
yeah, there's definitely
sense
ideas
from that.
and themes of R&B in there.
Yeah, but stuff like that, I love learning how otherwise if we were to have this conversation, I probably wouldn't know that about how was that song even crafted from the beginning. So
yeah,
that's really cool. It's it came all the way from when you were 12.
Yeah.
Did when you were 12 when you came up with that line, I know you're saying it's just kind of based off other songs you come up with, but was there a certain scenario or something that created those specific words, or it's you just kind of morphed the melody out of thin air and you're oh, I want to slap some words into it, and then over time you're I just want these to cement into it?
I would say there wasn't a specific scenario that I could be going through in that time that could explain the lyrics to the song.
Someone took my toy and it just
right.
really hurt me.
Yeah. But I would say that I would, like, when I would watch TV, I would feel like what was going on in those TV shows was happening. Like, I was watching, like, ABC Family or, like, Disney or whatever was going on, and I felt things, you know, you feel things just bigger when you're a child. You know, as an adult watching the same shows, you're like, oh, I remember how I felt watching this the first time. You know what I mean? So I felt music that way, too. So I think a lot of the lyrics came from probably whatever I was honestly watching or seeing at the time.
That's cool.
But I would say that the R&B stuff, my pianist on the song, he's super, shout out Solo, but he seriously is so R&B. And that's probably where a lot of the, because he's on all my songs. So if there's a little hint, that's him throwing his little sauce in there.
Little sprinkle.
Yeah, his
That's
little
cool.
something. Yeah.
Okay, so you have like a few people that you kind of go to when you will want to work on songs.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Okay.
the same people. And if there's a specific need, then we'll bring somebody in. But I always have somebody in mind for most of that. And if I don't, then my producer does. Like, he's always like, oh, you need this guy. Or you need this girl. Or this is who we're looking for. I'm like, okay, yeah. And he's always right. Yeah, he always knows what to do.
Now, when you said, like, you had a guitar solo and everything come in, you know, and that's obviously where you had, like, Saber come in and lay down that track, right? So have you and Saber worked on a lot of songs together over time? Like, how far back do you two go?
Okay, so I met him, like...
When you were 12.
Right, when I was 12, I met him. No, we met because we started at the same job. And this was, like, 4 months ago. So...
Was that recent?
Yes.
I thought it was like years or something.
Right. I feel like I've known him for a really long time. It's September, October, November, December. It was like August, September. And we started singing at the same venue, and we would rotate nights. So I met him at our orientation or callback or whatever it was. I met him, and we just started talking, and I'm like, so honestly, we're in Indianapolis. Like, I'm surprised when I don't know a musician or a certain person, especially someone as talented as Saber. I was like, how have I never seen you before? There's 2 reasons. He's younger than me by, like, 4 years, maybe 3 years. And he is on the north side. So he's not, like, in central Indianapolis. But I just couldn't believe that I had never met him after I walked in while he was singing, while he was sound checking and learning what I was about to go learn. So then I got to talking to him, and he was like, yeah, I kind of record. I kind of do this. I'm like, do you play anywhere? He's like, no. I'm like, huh? Because he sounds so good. And he's so thorough and knows all the technology and all the stuff that goes behind being a musician, especially, like, not in a band or anything, just being yourself. So I was so surprised when he told me he wasn't really performing anywhere else. So I was like, well, I'm going to go record on Wednesday at Roundtable in Broad Ripple if you want to come. He's like, okay, comes. So here's the song, and it's like, I can hear him humming the back part. I hear him humming, like, the echoing, and he's like, I think I should just, I was like, well, why don't you just go lay it down, and, like, I can record. Because I was planning to sing the back part myself. But it sounded so good, and those are the first vocals that he recorded, and we kept them this whole time because they sound so good.
The very first vocal tracks he laid down are ones you guys kept.
They're on the chorus.
How was the solo? Was that like that? Just kind of like
he had, like, ideas. He walked out of there like, I think I want to do a solo, and he's like, just wait. I'm like, okay, and then he did it, and he sent it in, and we were like, wow, this is great. And then he re-recorded it when we got there. And we were, like, trying to figure out, should the solo be, like, separate from the chorus? Are we singing over it? But we found out after listening to it for a long time that it needs to be under the chorus because it just drives the whole back into the song. It almost makes me think of, like, Rihanna or Dangerous Woman, Ariana Grande, that really powerful, whatever.
Definitely.
I don't know what that is called, but that's what the solo reminds me of. So he did a good job with that, and the song just came together so well.
Yeah. No, I just, when I was hearing, like, when you first showed me, like, the first version that you showed me of the song, and then just while we were shooting the video itself, you know, just hearing how you guys were. Just the vocals you guys did were really stellar. It was really cool to just hear how you guys are playing off each other. But yeah, it's like the potential of it's like really cool to just see kind of come to life. And apparently, you know, like all of that just like came together very
yeah,
recently.
it was
just
like
having him as
so
a part
cohesive. It was just so weird. And then we started working together on other stuff. So we've probably worked on like 4 or 5 songs together from start to finish.
Yeah.
And like we've done some projects for other people that have gone really well.
Mm-hmm.
And we just keep getting them. And it's just really easy to, because where I fail as a songwriter, as a musician, he picks up. And we're same for him, like, or same for me and him. Like, we just like get each other, push through. We know when to like step away and be like, okay, let's look at this tomorrow or the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just works that way. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It just seems like it seems like a solid fit. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Okay. So like, you know, there's this video that we did of you two. Is there going to be, I'm assuming there's other songs, you know, that you guys would just be releasing as well?
It's mostly like for the stuff that we've been doing recently, one of us is singing and the other one wrote it, or vice versa. Or my songs, he's on guitar solos, he's on backup vocals, you know, really wherever the shoe fits, or just writing the actual song. He's in all the material.
Yeah.
Just like some other, like, I have like the same 5 people that are like, okay, I know what you need for the song. Everyone understands the song and what it needs, which is really nice. But we have a lot of stuff coming out. I'm trying to think of other stuff we've been doing. I feel like we've been so busy doing a lot of live shows together.
Yeah.
Because we're in the same band. We're going to do a lot of Christmas stuff right now.
Yeah. 2 little Christmas carolers.
Yes. There's too much Christmas stuff.
You two are in a band, so like, what is that called?
Mainstream.
Mainstream.
Yeah. It's my baby, my band.
You're in like 5 bands.
I know, but that one's different. It's my favorite one. No offense.
This baby's different.
Yeah, it is. No.
I love this one more than the other one.
The other ones, like, I can't even say that I like, it's just like they learn my music, you know what I mean? But my other band, we do like our covers and stuff. And my other band, shout out Steve, he's 2000 late. He literally is my best friend. So I also have fun there too, obviously. But we're just doing like cover songs. And the other one, it's like, first of all, there's like 9 musicians that we swap out and do. There's like a cello player sometimes, saxophone.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really fun to play with. And you really just have to be like, okay, this is the song, this is what key we're in. And everyone just goes crazy.
And is that stuff that you all are all writing together, or is it mainly like cover material? Where is that?
So it's covers, like my singer, co-singer, what is that? The other lead singer, his name's Anthony. He think like Bruno Mars, Michael Jackson, Prince type, okay? So he flies the roof off of almost every single room. Like, he just sings.
He sings like what?
He's singing like, yeah, no, he's literally so good. And so we do like those covers, and then he has his own personal music that he does. Mm-hmm. So we do all that stuff. Like, we have learned each other's music, and everybody in the band is like so good at singing. Like, there's like 7 singers. It's just like, I only sing. I play the tambourine sometimes. Everybody else is like playing an instrument and singing backup vocals, and I think it's awesome.
You just do vocals though.
Yeah. And then when I'm not singing, it's embarrassing because I'm like, what am I supposed to do with myself?
Like, you all go do that.
Right, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes that's why I have the tambourine.
Right.
Which I can't even sing and play the tambourine at the same time, so the tambourine's only there when I'm not. I know. I've tried my whole life.
Okay, but I saw a photo of you playing drums one time.
Yeah. I don't have to sing and play the drums.
Okay,
It's
so
just
it's
a photo.
more like the singing, and that's the part that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but also, like, when I say I could, actually, I'm not going to lie to you, my 2-year-old daughter could probably keep a beat better than me.
Really?
Yeah, I like dancing, though. I can do that.
You can sing and dance.
At the same time? Yes.
But you can't use a tambourine, but you can like totally like do
Right.
backflips and like.
Yeah, I don't, backflips.
You know, it's a form of
Right,
expression. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
can do a cartwheel.
You can cartwheel and sing. Okay.
No. I can't play the drums very well.
Okay. But if you could play any instrument, which one would you play?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to play the violin.
You know what? you're like the third or fourth person that said that
It's a
when I've
cool
asked that
instrument.
question of
It's a
like,
really
can
cool
you play the
instrument.
instrument? And they're like violin or cello. So that
Cello.
must be like a
Yeah.
okay cello.
No, cello is cool. My friend Ivan plays the cello, and he's the coolest guy I know. He's like, he has his little thing, comes in there, and's like, hey, Ivan. He's like, cello. And then sits down, plays. And he sings. Like, it sounds like he's singing, and he moves his mouth when he plays. It's really cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Kind of like how guitar players, when they're doing a solo,
Yes,
they
yeah.
also like,
Right.
you know, the ugly
And that's exactly
guitar
the little,
face.
yes.
So he has cello face.
He has cello face. So instead of like a really like ugly face, it's like beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wish. I honestly would not even want to play the cello though, because I don't want to carry it around.
That is true. It's pretty big.
I would not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so violin.
Violin's cool.
Yeah. If I could play any instrument, it would probably be guitar.
You don't do. What do you?
I mean, I play guitar, but I'm just saying, like, if I wanted to, I
Oh.
would also pick it. So.
Okay. Cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I don't play the violin, and I probably couldn't if I tried.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you were 12,
Yep.
you were like, songs, I want to write them. Is that when you got into music as well, or was it like when you're like, when I was 2, my mom showed me to sing, and I was like one
Yes.
of the really?
Yeah.
When you
my
were 2?
parents are Southern gospel singers,
Cool.
and they would travel to little churches around the USA, anywhere they could
dope.
drive, anywhere that they would have. Right, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, revivals, camps, anything you can think of,
Yeah.
they would be there.
Okay.
And they would sing their way up there and sing their way down back home. Yeah, and they were like, oh, she can talk. Let's post her on stage. I was up there going, happy birthday, Jesus.
When you were like a year, like 6 months old, a year old.
Right, yeah. No, not really. Well, I mean, I would be up there, like, and my mom would sing with me in her arms.
You're up that early? She's just like,
Yes.
yeah.
In fact, I was born
Wow.
because they were at a Christmas concert. They were singing at a Christmas concert, and when
Yeah.
she was going into active labor while they were singing.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I think I'm going to have the baby, me. And they were like, just raise your hand.
Yeah.
If there's any confusion, raise your hand every time you're in labor. So she would like be like, ah, or like, praise Jesus. Yeah. And they were like, okay, they're 2 minutes apart. We got to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like you were birthed right after that.
Came out the womb singing. Yeah.
Bruh.
I know.
That's pretty cool. So it was like literally from birth, it was instilled into you.
Yes, we were on the road. And
Whoa.
then we stayed. That's what my family does. Every single person in my family. My grandparents sing, and they had children.
Okay.
And they all sing. Then my generation, we all sing.
How many
No.
siblings you got?
I just have a brother.
Oh.
I know.
Well, you said we all. So
Yeah,
I was like,
because it started
all
with
2
2,
of us.
then there was 5, and then each of those people had at least 2 or
Right.
3 or 4 or 5. If you're my Uncle David, he had 5 kids.
shout out
Crazy.
Dave.
Uncle Dave, yeah, for real. Yeah, and him and his whole family are on the road.
Uh-huh.
And my dad and his family are on the road.
Uh-huh.
And my other uncle, actually my other uncle's a doctor, but he can sing really good. He sings so good at church.
Like during the surgery.
Right. Not that kind of doctor.
Oh.
More like
Ear, throat.
no. Like a
Like
PhD. Like he's got,
Oh.
yeah, he helps people through their trauma.
so
Why'd you point at me?
because Jenny's a therapist.
Oh, word. I'm like, what are you trying to say about Jenny?
Is it trauma too?
Nice.
You could start singing. Sorry, we're like getting.
That's good. Whatever.
You could like sing at people. So yeah.
Yeah,
as they're-
there you go.
Like so like
Word.
when he's like okay, you got trauma. He like sings it at
Yes, that's what he does.
totally.
Sounds really good.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
dope. Well, I feel like I just got like a whole history, a whole family tree.
Yeah.
That's cool. So are you ever just like, hey, brother, like I'm so much more talented than you? Kind of like
So
pushing his
my
face.
brother actually like makes me mad because he really doesn't like singing. Like, I mean, he does. He enjoys it with himself. Like, but we never
Right.
heard it really. And then yes, but I knew he could.
Right.
And I heard him audition for a solo one time, and I was like, everyone was like,
OMG.
yeah, because how do you not practice and not want to be a singer? And, like, do you sound that good? And then me, I'm like, and I for real, like, could not sing super great. And not even
Like
school, high school. Yeah, and I would try, and I wanted it so bad.
Right.
I just couldn't do it. Because I don't know why. Something happened after high school where I was like, I just let loose and found my sound, I guess.
You could do it, okay.
Arguably. It depends on who you ask. But my brother, he just sounded good all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That made me mad.
But is he doing anything with it? Is he like, I'm trying to sing?
He's got other interests that he's really good at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you're mainly like spearheading that, though. You're going.
Yeah, so the only way, first of all, only way that I can provide for myself and my child and have quality life, work. I'm like, okay, this is the path. This is what I want. I enjoy it. I'm good at it, and I really want to make it work. That's where I want. I don't know where it's going to bring me.
Is the singing?
Is the singing. Yeah, it's the only thing I really know how to do. I can't do math or anything. Yeah.
Numbers.
It's my only way. It's my only option. It's the only thing I'm good at.
I gotta sing.
Gotta sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, just from the stuff you post and how engaged you are with all of it and the whole circuit, it seems like you guys are really, really going for it. It's like, when I was like, 23 or something, I was doing like photo and music and stuff, but like there's stuff I wanted to do in music where I was like, I don't really know how to do that, or like how to really get out there with it. And it's like I'm seeing you guys do it in the way you're just like really pushing for it.
Yeah.
It's like that stuff I was like, I don't even know if I would have been doing that then, like back when I was 24.
It took me a long time to understand, like, just go with the idea that you have and like just seek it all the way out. Mm-hmm. But this is the first time in my life that my financial situation and my creativeness have met each other. Mm-hmm. So I've always been creative, but never been able to find the right way to fund it or know what to do with it.
Right.
So the answer to it all is just like be on 10 all the time. If you're at work, be at work, make as much money, do whatever you need to do, and then when you're off of work and you're at home, be at home. And
be
use
fully in the moment.
Yes, at whatever you're doing, just on 10 all the time. I wish that there were more hours in the day, but I also really like to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Same.
Yeah, that's important. But it's not. There's weeks where it's just like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like if I work really, really, really hard now, then later I can relax. But I'm scared that I'll develop habits where I'm like working, and one day when I don't have to do that anymore, I'll still do that because that's what I know how to do. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, this is what I'm good at. This is my craft.
Yeah.
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 That's dope. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that, so where you guys are at now, just like you're really dialed in, you're working on your original songs, and you're just really making a point to write those and get them released and out there, right?
Yeah.
So you said there was like a series of other bands that like you're in or are in now?
Yeah, so I was in a band for a while called Kenna and the Kings,
mm-hmm.
and then we dispersed for no particular reason. Just wasn't, we were just not vibing well. It was just, I felt like the end of the road. But it taught me a lot about writing music, working with other people, being in the space, because I would get stressed out so easily, and I'm like, okay, what can I learn from what I've just done? So, but I got picked up by a entertainment company that's called Blonde Entertainment. They're the best. And she books me pretty much wherever I fit and whatever they need, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all live music, and I learned all these covers, so many songs, learned all of those, and then now that I know all of them, not all of the songs in the world, but enough to put on a really good 3-hour concert.
Yeah.
And be booked. Okay, so we're making the money, I'm getting the practice, performance practice,
right.
Performing to a lot of people, one person, whoever, the pressure, wherever. Sometimes you're, in the middle of a lobby and no one cares about you, and then sometimes you're really in a tough spot and you have to push through all those different environments, right? So I'm like, okay, I got this. Now let's work on some of my music. And so now, again, my financials have met my creativity.
Right on, yeah.
So now we're hopefully going somewhere where we can just keep going. And there's a lot, because once you find out, you're like, oh, I want to have a music video, I want to do this and that. After you get those things, there's more things that you're gonna want, but it just keeps going forever and ever. So, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Like, yeah, sounds like you're just super dialed in and you're really going for it.
Trying.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it sounds like you're very focused.
Just most of the time, I go through like months where I'm like, beeline, like I know what I want, and then like there's literally like 2 weeks where I'm like, do I even want to do this anymore? I'm so tired. What is the meaning of life? You know what I mean? You just like have to like disappear for a while. Yeah. And but all this time I spent being super dialed in has covered for the time when I don't feel as well, or I don't feel as good, or I'm not as productive, because I was so dialed in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I take back. But then, like, when I get back into it, I'm like, man, I wasted a whole week. I'm like, when I really probably just needed time to rest,
Right, yeah, because that was my next question. It's like, how are you avoiding burnout? Because I feel like it can be very easy. It's like, I mean, first of all, like, how many times a week would you say you are out performing?
Like 2 or 3.
Okay. Yeah, it's like even that still can be a lot
like
mentally.
actual performing live, but I do like studio work and like writing and stuff, which is the stuff that's more private that people don't really see. But I would say when I am having a burnout, I can still rely on like my technical skills to like power through. Like, what a song, when an instrument is out of tune, you know what I mean? So you're just like, okay, at least I can get like the basics of something done, even if my creativity isn't there. The technical skills that I have learned and practiced from all of the stuff that I have been doing can carry me through to the next thing,
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, where you're at now, it's like you really like have your head down, you really focus on like getting songs written, getting the material, and like wanting to get that out there. I mean, first of all, it's like you're able to, like you said, what you're mainly doing is you are able to sing and really provide that way. It's like you're able to use your talent and stuff. Like, there's that you have going. I mean, that's probably something you're, I would say, it seems like since that's what you love to do, it's like that's your thing. Where do you see everything going? I mean, it's like that's a pretty loaded question, but like even a few years from now, like if you could have it your way, it's like what's the hope? What are you hoping to do with this?
That's a good question, because it's like people would be like, oh, when people think of success with like singers, they think of like fame, and I'm like, that is not the same thing to me. It's just not. I want to be. First of all, if I have a roof over my head, my child is happy and fed, and everything's cool in that aspect, we're winning, because that's the bare minimum, right? Right. So that's good. But also, I just want. Mostly I'm here for the ride. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where it's going to bring me. So far, it seems like I've really enjoyed songwriting more than I enjoy singing, which I enjoy both a lot. But so maybe, like, songwriting would be cool. Like, I don't know.
Like, if that was your main thing?
Yeah, that would be awesome. If I
like
just
a ghostwriter?
Yeah, yes. Like, go into the studio.
Yeah.
But then my thing is, I'm like, man, I'm making this song. I kind of want to sing it, So that would, I don't know. It would be hard to pass over some of these songs that are, but I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think that I think that is a little question, because success, it's like it's so different it's so different for everybody.
Right.
Some people will not rest until they're rich, famous. You know what I mean? I would say, just being able to live comfortably and not struggle if I need time off or whatever. You know what I mean? And having all of that be powered through music.
Right.
Would be the answer.
Yeah. One definition I have for it, it's like, if I could have any way, it's like for like the whole thing with my music. Mm-hmm. If I booked a show anywhere in like the Midwest, or like if I want to say so bold as like the US, and it's like there's people that pack out the room. It's like, to me, it's like, cool, that'd be it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Just
like you have people that see your stuff and they're like, wow, I just want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like some
Yeah.
massive crazy thing. Because like I feel like whenever people are like, yeah, I just want to have like a massively famous band or whatever, I'm like,
Yeah.
that sounds awesome. But then like when you think of like, I don't know, because like I really love it, but like I did a podcast with Thomas at one point where I was like, if it's something where it's like I feel like what I said there was like, if it like sucked up my soul or something,
Yeah.
or like it turns you into someone else, like I think that sucks.
Yeah.
Because like I want it to be a thing where you can really be involved in like the songs and make it something and really like pour yourself into it, but not at the cost of like it turning you into
Right,
something
because
else.
it's like, what did I do it for if at that point?
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people will want to just totally put them like they'll want to totally like give themselves up for it.
Yeah.
Like if you asked me 10 years ago, that would have been like, yeah, like whatever, totally. But like I don't know, just like that frontal cortex developing. You're like, you know what? Maybe
I don't know about that.
maybe like that's not like all that it's cracked up to be. But like it's like I still love the whole aspect of like playing shows and like being engaged with the crowd and all that good stuff, but just not
Right, that's never anybody who likes music or likes being a musician is always gonna. In fact, actually, just anybody being in the same room with me and like wanting to hear me speak or sing or anything is just like obvious. That's weird for me. Like people pay me to sit there and sing for 3 hours.
Yeah,
or
pay me to make noise out of my mouth.
Yeah, right. Or like come in and do a feature or sing on this one part. I'm like, that's weird to me. Like for me to process that, I'm like, what? Well, whatever. Like that's all right. I'm down. I'm gonna do my best. That's all I can say. But it is weird to me that people would pay me to do that, or be interested in what I have to offer at all.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you do anyway, though. So
I do, yeah, and I try my best, for real.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if we answered the question, but
What was the question? I forget.
It was basically the less corporate version of where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh yeah, right. Okay. Well, I hope
Like Home Depot selling.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. No.
That was what I was gonna say.
Making tens of dollars selling songs. That's
Yes.
that was your answer, right?
I really would like to it would be cool to like write a hit song.
Ghostwriter, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
I don't have to sing it. I just want to be
Right. Yeah, Pink,
there.
Buy It, or Ariana
Grande.
Buy It.
Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande. Yeah.
I like her a lot. Ariana Grande. You're welcome.
Yep. Yeah, so that's awesome. Just kind of going back to how you guys craft songs, I was actually really curious to kind of like dive into that a little bit. And you said like when the song "If I Wanted To," when that was written, you said that you guys kind of like reverse engineered that sort of, right?
Yeah.
So when you guys typically go about writing songs, what is that songwriting process like? How like do you start with a melody and build from there,
Right.
or how do you go about that?
It's different for every song. And I would say that a lot of times it starts with like me at the piano. I feel like truly every time I sit down at the piano, I can get a good idea going.
So you play the piano.
Not like I don't play it,
Okay.
but I can.
This is like a fake humble thing you're doing. Okay.
No, but I'm I'm serious. I can't tell you much about the piano. I can tell you when something sounds bad on the piano, and I'm like, oh, I need to go the other way.
That's fair.
You know, that type of thing. And then I'm like, oh, I got this melody going. I come up with a bar. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this is the best song ever. I'm gonna call Will, which is solo. Let me call Saber. Let me call Anthony, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, and I show them that, and they're like, yeah. And most of the time, solo, he'll be like, let me come over, got the idea going. I'm like, okay, let me book a studio session. That's all I know about the song, which you should never do because you probably waste a lot of money by not going in there really kind of blinded, which is crazy. But and then we go in there, and Travis is my producer. He always knows what to do. He's like, this is the sound you're looking for. I'm like, yes. And then we'll like come up with some songs. We'll be like, okay, what is the idea? And then we'll fill in the blanks from there. But it doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes people bring songs to me, or like backgrounds of songs, and they'll be like, what can I do with this? Or I've done like features for rappers and stuff, and sometimes they're like, I know what the words are, and I know the melody, like, and it sounds like this, and I'm like, okay, cool, and I'll go in there and sing that. but it's different every time. Sometimes it starts with the music. Sometimes it starts with one. I'm like, what did you just say? That kind of sounds like that could be in a song.
Whoa.
And then, yeah, we'll go from there.
Okay, so how many features have you done so far?
I don't know. A lot.
If you had to guess.
Okay, not a lot. Maybe
I know
like
you
10.
said you can't do math, but like.
Right, I
is it
can't.
more than 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, under 10,
So a
more than
lot.
3. But I feel like all of them, I'm like, maybe I'm just a big fan of whoever's music I'm doing, because I'm like, this is the best song ever. This is going to be awesome. It always is awesome. It is. But, yeah, I do more features. I would say I've done more features than I have music out, which is crazy. Yeah.
And hey, that's cool though. It's like just getting in there and just like getting the repetitions of that. You know what I mean? Like just putting in the hours.
It is fun to like go into a studio. Maybe it's a studio I've never been, or someone's basement or something, and you're like walking into, you don't really know what to expect.
Right.
All you do is trust like that the song's good, or sometimes I don't even hear it before I go in there, but I trust the person that has me or whoever hired me.
Right.
And how we go, and it's just fun to be in those different environments and like kind of challenge yourself to see like what will this turn out like.
Yeah.
Not being like super. I used to be super. What's the word?
It's rigid.
Yeah, about like rigid. What does that mean?
Really stiff. Or
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, word. Rigid.
Yeah.
Super rigid about like the circumstances for safety purposes. First of all, because you don't know who you're working with, but
after a while, you just forget about that.
Right.
Just like whatever happens.
whatever. But just so like I thought like I'm singing like I need it to be perfect for my voice to feel perfect.
Sure.
And that's just not true. It's just not. Like you just need to get used to being in different environments. Studios are cold, studios are hot, studios are in the middle of nowhere. It's different times of day. Some days you've slept 10 hours and your voice is tired. Some days you've slept 0 hours and your voice sounds perfect. And it's just super weird how that works.
Yeah.
So it's just getting used to using your voice in every single condition it can be in, and then mastering it in that condition. So that way you have,
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds like a lot of the different circumstances and scenarios that you're in, it has to deal with just really being able to stretch yourself and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, for
mastering
sure.
whatever situation
Yeah,
you're in.
just taking it as it
Boldly.
is and just roll with it
Yeah.
and get through it.
Yeah, whatever the punches are.
Yeah. Okay, so just to back up one more time, with the songwriting, typically you like to start on piano and kind of build from there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And you've got different people you can talk to, and you're like, oh, here's an idea. You
Yeah.
kind of try to branch off. That's interesting. It's like, it's funny, like when people talk about that, I'm like, I don't like talk to anyone about it. I'll just
You
try.
do it all yourself?
Yeah.
Sometimes it depends on the song. Sometimes like if it's a ballad, I really just figure it out myself. But each song has different ideas to it. And one thing I've been doing recently, and it's helped me write songs faster, more thoroughly, really spend whatever time I'm having with this song and just giving my all into it, is like just going with my first initial idea for every single thing, for what the song's supposed to sound like, how the structure's supposed to be, what the timing is, even stuff like what does the cover look like, or what is this video going to look like, or who do you have in mind for everything.
Right.
And it just, you go with your natural gut, and like you understand the idea. The first thing that you see is the first thing that you do. And that's been, but not being opposed to changing it a little bit. If someone's like my producer, he's always like, what about this? And I'm like, actually, yeah. But once I've known what I wanted for each song, which has been weird. But mostly just like create the idea and then move it on for development.
Sure.
To people who could do better than me.
Yeah, and how do you go about, when you say you have a producer, how do you go about getting someone that will, they want to kind of put their hand in what it is you're doing?
Oh, it took a long time. I would work with people, and I don't know if I was just, not as focused, and there's just something about how I see music and how he sees music that is similar, and I don't know if that would have happened, 2 years ago if I were to meet him, if we would have had the same, reaction to us working together as we have now. But it's been weird, being watching everything click, Before I had brought in similar ideas to different producers or people, and like, okay, this is my idea, has not turned out. Like, I could show you versions of songs that I have that I said, let's try it, and it's just not the same. And it's like, okay, well, he's just really good at his job is really the answer to that.
So is it like you're just looking for people that, like, are you looking for different recording engineers, or you're looking for different people where it's like, hey, this, like, they make their music and you're just looking for someone that has a similar alignment with you, and then you're like, hey, just try to pour into this in a way, or like
I've tried other people, but it wasn't like I was like looking for somebody. I just wanted to be versed in all the different experiences. I just really liked recording. I liked anything that had to do with music, period. So I tried different studios for different things, and I would say that some studios are better at other styles of music and songs, and you know what I mean? Everybody works with somebody. But for this specific music I have been writing, it has been so refreshing to hear it in the purest form, like listening to songs that I've written, and it's like, okay, this serves them. This is where I'm supposed to be. Like, this is actually the correct move for this song, and then everybody that is placed into the song, whatever, bringing people from different bands to do bass, guitar, you know what I mean, features. Like, I have rappers on some of the songs, and it's really cool. And watching it come to life is wild from it being an idea. And this is the first time in my life like something like that has really happened. It's like a full circle moment. Like, oh my gosh, like you're seeing your work finish out. It's been fun.
Well, I mean, just how you said you have Saber kind of work with you on stuff, and you guys have already, branched off into like several other projects, and just how cohesive all that's been, along with the other people that you work with on the material. It sounds like and just with how you're starting pretty much your own project, like your own band, or like your artist.
Yes.
Use an artist. It really sounds like there's just like a new chapter.
Yeah,
basically.
it is. It really is. Like, I feel like I didn't go to college, but like I feel like I've graduated and I'm like into the world of the industry or whatever. I'm in my field now, and I'm a professional, and I'm learning all of the things that life has to teach you about, work and creating and providing all those things. I'm learning about all that, but I'm starting to like really like understand the assignment now. Like, we've learned, we've done our training, like let's keep learning, but like let's like make some moves now. It's time to like get some of that back, like money and whatever else the music has to offer, relationships, like learning, having something rewarding as having people to work with all the time, somebody you can call when you don't know what to do, like it's like, I don't know about this song, or I don't know about this part, like help. Like, they know what to say, or they know what to do. You know what I mean? It's like, that's rewarding, because when you're creative and you're like growing up, it's like, who are you? You don't have the resources that you do as an adult,
Right. So is your artist or stage name just McKenna?
It's Kenna Loren, I guess, which is my middle name.
Okay.
So my name is McKenna Melton. But then, like, when I made the band, it was Kenna and the Kings.
Right, but now it's just
and then it's Kenna Loren.
Kings.
No Kings.
No
Sorry,
Kings.
guys. There's no Kings. Just Kenna in mainstream.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have, the song "If I Wanted To" that's out. Do you have other songs lined up that you're hoping to release soon?
Yeah. There's so many cool songs, and I would say that all of them are like 90% done, and then I can start on a new project. But as my like initial reformation, it's coming to a close where we're getting all the material, and now it's time to like start putting it out. Right? Yeah. All the stuff.
All the stuff.
All the things. But no, it was cool. I want to do like each song I like in a different way.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's our best song yet. And then like we work on another one. I'm like, that one's my favorite.
Right.
Yeah, and that just keeps coming.
Constantly replacing them.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, you don't have a song where like, so far this is my absolute favorite.
I know I do, but I felt that way. I don't know. It switches around, really.
If you had to pick one.
I would say "I'm the Girl," I think, is going to be my favorite.
I'm the Girl.
I'm the Girl.
I think you showed
Yeah.
me some of that, or you put on your
Right. It was. I think I put like a little
yeah,
snippet.
right.
Yeah, that's gonna be my favorite.
I think you played it when we were actually filming your
Probably.
news anchor
I probably
scene
did.
here.
I'm
pretty sure you did.
I like that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, while we're at it, just the amount of outtakes and bloopers
I don't want to know.
from I'm pretty like just everything that we shot day of, like for the actual music video itself, and then the news anchor shots. When I was going back through the footage, I was like, just the amount of times both of you were like cracking up at just the goofiest stuff on set was so funny to look at.
know.
There's like a whole video that can just be made out of that.
I believe you.
There's so
we
much
should
stuff.
do that
Yeah.
after Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah. But I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Not that I
It was just really funny.
I probably won't think it's funny. I'm probably like, geez, why do I do
I'll
that?
laugh at it.
That's good.
You'll probably cry, but I'll laugh. Yeah, so it'll be funny for me.
And my parents are probably the only people that would think that were entertaining. Maybe Saber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was really cool working on that project with you. I know initially when we talked about it, it seemed really exciting, and it just seemed like you guys have a lot going on, and it was cool to just kind of be a part of that for a little bit.
It's like I feel like I'm at the beginning of something. You
Yeah.
know, I really
Totally.
truly feel like that. I didn't know what it was gonna be like meeting you, but I had looked through so many people's things. Like when I was like, this is my rebranding. Like this is my me. And I need to put my big girl pants on and find what I want and figure out what I want and be certain on what I want. And so I looked through so many people's videos and stuff, and I was like, you know, I just don't think that this is it. I don't think this is gonna be it. And then you sent me your stuff, and I was like, literally took me 2 seconds watching the video. I was like, I'm already sold. I don't know why that was. You might be good at your job. I don't know. But I wanted to work with you from the beginning of when I saw your stuff. And after looking through all that I'm telling you, I looked through like 10, 12, 20 people, not just in the state of Indiana. I guess you're from Michigan.
We can say I'm in Indiana for this. That's fine.
Oh, he's in Indiana. Right. But I had looked through all that, and I felt kind of I don't know. I was like, man, not willing to pay for, I don't know. And then you were just the perfect little mix there.
It all just meshed.
It did.
Stars aligned.
Yeah. And then I had no idea that I would be working with Saber so much too. So everything's just been like,
Right.
it went like really, really quick.
Yeah, just that's what I've been gathering just from like the whole conversation now. It's like
Yeah.
I thought you guys knew each other for like 5 or 10 years.
That's what it feels
You'd
like.
be like, when I was like 13, we like did a thing. But you're like,
Yeah.
no, like 4 months ago.
Yeah, it was
So
like 4 months ago. And it's just
That
been like
it's
constant.
like you guys pretty much met when you and I had that first phone call,
Yes.
roughly around that.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's because I wanted to put my foot forward for each of these songs. Like, they deserve the most attention, whatever. They need to be taken care of. Each song needs to be taken care of. And whatever serves them, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to baby them.
How long now have you actually been like performing shows and like getting out there and singing in front of people essentially? I know like
Yeah.
your parent, you said how with your parents like really young age you're in front of people, but I mean like when you're actually doing your own thing, performing in front of people.
Instead of like going to college, I was like, oh, I like music, writing, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to college for music because I didn't understand music in that way. But
Right.
I understood songwriting or performing is what I liked.
Yeah.
So I would do that, and then I would say I could live off of music probably. So, and that started like two years ago, like right after I had my daughter. I was just like, I really just want to perform.
That's when you first started performing?
No, that's when I first started performing and just performing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do other stuff too, to, you know.
But like
have other jobs.
consistently going for it. You'd say like 2 years ago?
I would say I started singing like 3 times a week like 2 years ago. But I would sing
Okay.
like every other week
Okay.
5 years ago.
Okay.
So like college age, when I was like 19,
Yeah.
I started performing a lot. And then I started performing a lot like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been a couple years.
All
The
right.
first year was just like learning songs, like learning how to be in different environments without letting it control my voice or my mood.
Yeah.
Like, is it cold outside? Oh, but it's this guy's 50th birthday. Who cares? I'm paid to be here, and they're giving me free food. So,
Right.
yeah, that's what really matters.
Awesome. Wow. I like that's honestly like that's a lot of stuff that I really want to like dive through and like really cut through. Like that's cool. There's like a few other questions I had, but is there anything just like that we'd also want to include that, like I haven't brought up? Do you think it'd be cool to jump into?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So for other artists that might be starting, right? They're kind of like in beginning stages that you were in a few years ago.
Yeah.
What would you recommend to them? Like in terms of like, you know, how you're talking about like a producer, like
Yeah.
finding a sound like that,
Right.
or even if they're trying to like get picked up, like, you know how you said you're with the company that's like kind of getting you booked out there and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
If you're trying to even like get booked by a company like that, or like you
Right.
can have someone like getting you booked out there and doing
Yeah.
shows, like what would you recommend to people like that?
I would say, especially if you're a woman or a girl in general, and for any industry, the best thing I ever did was stop tiptoeing around people or tiptoeing around whoever I'm working with. So like I wanted to keep the peace all the time, and that shot me in the foot because whenever I needed to not keep the peace, it was the biggest deal ever. Now I just am how I am all the time. No one expects me to be a certain way anymore. But finding my sound and like after a lot of practice and being in a lot of different spaces, finding my sound mixed with being, what's the word? The opposite of finding your sound. When you can almost sing anything, like just like figuring out how to sing all of these songs and still sound like me.
Yeah.
That was a challenge, and that's probably what brought me, because I could sing, like, go to like a birthday party, like for oh man, he's like, I want 80s rock music. Okay. Then the next day you're like singing, you know, jazz you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just figuring out how to do that. But I would say like not tiptoeing around the people that you're around. Because when you do that and you're being a people pleaser, you're creating like a really false safety net. It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
And then it just implodes, and that's terrible. So being a woman and cutting through also I got a manager that was my manager. He's really my best friend. Like, he's one of my greatest friends, and he cut through, like, when people were like, oh, like, I want to work with you, like, I want to, like, let's do a photo shoot or whatever. I'm like, yeah, talk to this guy. Sometimes they never reached out because they were just wasting my time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so the people that really reached out to him are like, oh, okay, yeah, well, like, let's work together. But just cutting the BS and getting down to business and figuring out
Right.
what you're actually supposed to be doing, and trying new things, and just keep going and finding the middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in all these different environments, you figure out how you behave, how you act, how you do under pressure. Learn about yourself. Just keep going.
Mm.
That's all.
Okay. Cool. Perfect. Well, that's like everything that I really want to go over with you. So
Word.
that's dope.
Thanks.
Cool. Good job.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right. And that will do it. Great.